Imagine stepping outside tonight and looking up at the sky, only to realize there's not one moon, but two. At first, it would seem incredible. Brighter nights, stunning views, and twice the beauty. But within days, scientists would begin issuing warnings. The oceans would start behaving strangely, animals would become confused, and Earth's climate could slowly begin changing. Believe it or not, adding just one more moon could completely rewrite the story of our planet. So, what would actually happen if Earth had two moons? Let's find out. The first thing you'd notice is the night sky. Our current moon already reflects enough sunlight to illuminate the landscape during a full moon. Now imagine another moon of similar size shining beside it. Some nights would become so bright that you could easily walk outside without a flashlight. Stargazing, however, would become much harder because the extra moonlight would wash out many faint stars. While the sky might look breathtaking, we'd lose much of the beautiful darkness that reveals the universe above us. But the brighter nights wouldn't just affect humans. Countless animals depend on darkness to survive. Owls hunt under the cover of night. Bats rely on darkness to avoid predators. Many insects, reptiles, and nocturnal mammals have evolved for millions of years around Earth's normal day-night cycle. Suddenly flooding the night with twice as much light could confuse migration patterns, hunting behaviors, and even reproduction. Some species would adapt, while others might struggle to survive. Humans wouldn't escape the effects either. Our bodies follow something called a circadian rhythm, a natural biological clock controlled largely by sunlight and darkness. Bright nights can reduce the production of melatonin, the hormone that helps us sleep. If nights were consistently brighter because of two moons, many people might experience poorer sleep, increased stress, and long-term health effects. A beautiful sky could quietly come with a biological cost. Now let's talk about something much more powerful, the oceans. The moon's gravity pulls on Earth's oceans, creating tides. Every single day, coastlines around the world experience rising and falling sea levels because of this invisible gravitational force. If Earth had a second moon, both moons would pull on our oceans simultaneously. Sometimes they would align on the same side of Earth, combining their gravitational forces to produce enormous tides. At other times, they would pull in different directions, creating complicated and unpredictable tidal patterns. Imagine living in a coastal city where the sea suddenly rises much higher than normal several times each month. Beaches could disappear underwater. Harbors would have to be redesigned. Fishing industries would need entirely new schedules. Some coastal regions might experience frequent flooding, while others would see dramatic shifts in water levels that could permanently reshape the coastline. A second moon wouldn't simply make bigger waves. It could transform the geography of our planet. The tides also affect something most people never think about: Earth's rotation. As the moon pulls on Earth's oceans, it creates friction that slowly reduces our planet's spin. In fact, Earth's day has been getting slightly longer for billions of years because of our current moon. Add another moon, and that slowing effect could become even stronger. Over millions of years, a day on Earth might gradually increase from 24 hours to 25, 26, or even longer. Longer days would have surprising consequences. If the sun stayed in the sky for more hours, the ground would heat up more during the day. Then, with longer nights, temperatures could fall much lower before sunrise. This larger temperature difference could create stronger winds, more intense storms, and changes in weather patterns across the globe. A small change in Earth's rotation could eventually reshape entire climates. Then there are eclipses. Today, solar eclipses are rare events that people travel across the world to witness. But with two moons orbiting Earth, eclipses would become far more common and far more complicated. Sometimes one moon would pass in front of the sun. Sometimes the other would. Occasionally, both moons might appear in the sky together during unusual alignments. Ancient civilizations would likely see these events as powerful signs from the heavens, creating myths and legends unlike anything in our own history. Speaking of history, our calendars might also look completely different. Our current month is based on the moon's orbit around Earth. But with two moons orbiting at different speeds, measuring time would become much more complicated. Ancient farmers relied on lunar cycles to know when to plant and harvest crops. If those cycles became unpredictable, agriculture might have developed more slowly. That could delay the rise of civilizations, cities, and perhaps even modern technology itself. One of the moon's most important jobs is something we rarely notice. It helps stabilize Earth's tilt. Right now, our planet is tilted about 23.5 degrees, giving us predictable seasons year after year. Without that stability, Earth's tilt could wobble dramatically over long periods. A second moon could either improve or disrupt this balance depending on its size and orbit. If the tilt became unstable, some regions might experience brutal winters lasting much longer than today, while others could become unbearably hot. Climate zones would shift, ecosystems would change, and many species, including humans, would be forced to adapt. Now imagine how different human civilization might become. If coastlines constantly changed because of unusual tides, many of today's largest cities might never exist. Ports would be built in different places. Trade routes would change. Ancient civilizations that depended on rivers and predictable seasons could have risen somewhere else entirely. History books, cultures, languages, and even world maps might look completely different from the ones we know today. But here's where things become truly dangerous. Even if both moons started in stable orbits, gravity is incredibly complex. Over millions of years, the moons would constantly pull on each other. Their orbits could slowly shift. One moon might drift slightly closer to Earth while the other moved farther away. If one moon ever came too close, its gravitational pull could become catastrophic. Tides would grow even larger, earthquakes and volcanic activity might increase, and the planet could experience global environmental instability. In an even more extreme scenario, a moon could cross something called the Roche limit, the distance where Earth's gravity becomes strong enough to tear a moon apart. Instead of crashing directly into Earth, the moon could break into countless pieces, forming a massive ring system around our planet, similar to Saturn's famous rings. Imagine looking into the night sky and seeing not only two moons, but also a giant glowing ring stretching across the heavens. It would be one of the most spectacular sights imaginable, but it could also rain debris toward Earth for thousands of years, creating frequent meteor impacts. So, could life actually exist on a planet with two moons? Surprisingly, yes, but it probably wouldn't look anything like the life we know today. Animals would evolve under brighter nights. Plants might develop different growth cycles. Human biology, culture, calendars, religions, and even architecture could evolve in completely different ways. Every aspect of civilization would be shaped by the presence of a second moon. It's amazing to think that adding just one extra object to the sky could change almost everything about life on Earth. Our moon isn't just a beautiful light in the night. It has quietly protected and stabilized our planet for billions of years. It controls our tides, influences our climate, and has helped make Earth a place where complex life could thrive. So the next time you look up at the moon, remember, if there had been two instead of one, the world beneath your feet might have been completely unrecognizable. And here's one final question. If you walked outside tonight and saw two moons hanging in the sky, what would be the very first thing you'd do?